Chapter 2: Building with Nature: Materials, Techniques, and Construction Intelligence in Ancient Egypt. After understanding how the Nile shaped Egyptian geography and worldview, we can now take the next step. A civilization does not survive on fertile land alone. It survives by building spaces. And this is where ancient Egypt reveals an extraordinary level of intelligence. Egyptian builders did not choose materials for appearance alone. They chose them according to clear and rational logic: availability, climate, function, and duration. The first question was always simple: what does the land provide? And along the Nile, the answer was immediate: clay, reeds, fertile soil, and sun. In the earliest phases, simple dwellings were built using papyrus. Papyrus was not a primitive solution, it was a smart one. It was abundant, lightweight, easy to wave, naturally ventilated. These early structures offered shade and protection rather than permanence. Think of woven screens, pergolas, or reed structures still used today in hot climates to create breathable, shaded spaces. The principle is exactly the same. As settlements become more permanent and cities began to grow, however, Egypt needed a stronger and more scalable solution. This is where one of the most important architectural inventions appears. The Egyptians developed mud brick, clay from the Nile mixed with straw or plant fibers, shaped in molds and dried in the sun. This vegetable reinforcement was crucial. It reduced cracking, improved cohesion, increased durability. Technically speaking, this is a composite material, earth reinforced with fiber. Mud bricks were inexpensive, easy to produce, perfectly adapted to a dry climate. They were bonded using wet clay rather than lime mortar. Adobe construction, still used today in parts of Spain, North Africa, and the Americas, follows the same principles: cool interiors, thermal mass, and low environmental impact. What matters here is an important idea. Mud brick construction is not a sign of poverty, but an environmental intelligence. Two construction logics: temporary life and eternal meaning. At this point, Egyptian architecture makes a decisive distinction. Buildings are constructed according to their purpose in time. Domestic architecture, using mud brick, and sacred and funerary architecture, using stone. This is not merely practical, it is philosophical. Stone represents permanence, stability, resistance to decay. For monumental construction, Egyptians use limestone, sandstone, granite, alabaster for luminous surfaces. Each stone carries symbolic and technical value. Just as modern societies reserve marble or stone for institutional or sacred buildings, ancient Egypt used durable materials to express authority and eternity. One of the most fascinating aspects of Egyptian stone construction is the frequent absence of mortar. Stone blocks were laid through precise cutting, careful leveling, gravity, and mass. In some cases, wooden dovetail clamps were used to secure elements. This is a system based on weight, geometry, and craftsmanship. Dry stone walls found in Mediterranean landscapes operate on the same principle, but Egyptian builders applied it at monumental scale and extraordinary precision. Stone walls were rarely left exposed, and we see them today. Surfaces were leveled, coated with plaster, painted in vivid colors. This detail changes how we imagine ancient Egypt. What we perceive today as bare stone was once polychrome, luminous, and visually powerful. Plaster served both technical purposes for surface regularity and decorative ones, preparing walls for painting and relief. Much like historic European buildings where original painted facades have faded over time, Egyptian architecture was once far more colorful than we assume. Wood, rare, precious, and strategic. Wood was scarce in Egypt and therefore highly valued. Local species included acacia, palm, and sycamore. For more demanding uses, Egyptians imported wood such as cedar, pine, and cypress. Wood was reserved for structural elements, doors and frames, furniture, and refined interiors. Just as today rare hardwoods are used selectively for high-end design, wood in ancient Egypt was a premium material, carefully allocated. By now, a key idea becomes clear. In ancient Egypt, style emerges from material. Mud brick creates compact, functional volumes. Stone enables monumentality and symbolism. Plaster and paint add narrative and meaning. Wood introduces refinement and comfort. Architecture becomes a coherent system, technical, symbolic, and environmental. In this chapter, we have seen how Egyptian architecture is built on intelligence rather than excess. Materials are chosen with care, techniques respond to climate, construction reflects worldview. In the next chapter, we will explore how these choices create two distinct architectural worlds, one for everyday life and one for eternity. Because in ancient Egypt, even materials speak a language.